Hey everyone, Teamudf here with some more Powerwash Simulator. And today, for zero reason at all, we're going to review the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. That'll be the first thing we do in this episode. So let's pick something that will take forever. Probably the skate park. Will take forever. And then we're just going to do the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. And then we'll continue the discussion after that. So yeah, I finally watched the 2020 Sonic the Hedgehog movie. It sure was a thing. That's the end of the review. 0 out of 10. No, I don't know. Okay. I guess I should be looking up there, shouldn't I? I haven't figured this out yet. Alright. So basically what I do for this is I just go based off of my memory from what I saw in the movie. And then we do that. Okay. So the movie actually opened up pretty interestingly. It opens with Sonic running through San Francisco and getting chased by this big giant machine that Dr. Robotnik is flying. And yes, he was Robotnik in this movie, for the 3 people who haven't heard that yet, I suppose. Though Sonic did call him Eggman throughout, which was kind of interesting. Okay, so we're gonna probably also want to buy some stuff during this, but I won't interrupt the review too much for these shenanigans. Alright. And then they freaking do the thing. They do the thing where they do the slowdown. And then Sonic does the whole, "You're probably wondering how I got here." He doesn't say it exactly like that, but that's pretty much the joke that they're making. And to be fair, this was at least consistent with some of the other crap they did throughout the movie. They tried to make a lot of common meme references and things like that. So, this would not be the last time we heard a common reference like that. But, in any case, he decides to back us up and do a flashback, and we get to see him in what is looking like the Green Hill Zone, and he's running around. He gets free loop-de-loops and stuff. He's having a good time as a little kid hedgehog, and he has this owl caretaker who I believe was named Longclaw, and this Longclaw was kind of the mother figure for Sonic. It just kind of came out of nowhere. I'm not very familiar with any owl character in any Sonic thing, so I don't know, maybe they just picked something. Actually, I am familiar with an owl character in Sonic. The 1996 OVA, I believe, has an owl character in it. But anyway, I digress. So Longclaw takes care of Sonic, but is very not happy with him that he's been running around, because she believes someone will see him and understand that he has great powers that he was born with. And that people who find out that he has those powers will want to abuse them. And basically, just as she's explaining this, these, I'm not sure if they were meant to be echidnas or whatever, but they looked very much like echidnas. And they attacked the owl's hideout, and immediately are trying to get their hands on Sonic. So Longclaw picks up Sonic and flees the house. She gets shot almost immediately while they're fleeing, but she does not die. But she gives them the magic rings. By the way, I will say that when I watch these things on Netflix, I do put the subtitles on. And I noticed something very interesting about the subtitles throughout watching this movie. That whenever the bag of rings would shake or fall or make a sound or whatever, the subtitles would say coins. I don't know. But there you go. Some fun trivia for you. So the rings, I guess what happened with the rings here, it's actually kind of interesting. They gave them a functionality of world jumping. So you throw a ring, and you think of a place that you want to go. And then the ring takes you there. And presumably, the ring is like, I don't know, it's kind of a consumable, it's used. They weren't very clear on this, but I'm assuming they were consumables. So that there's like a limited amount of them or something, but I don't know. Anyway, so she sends Sonic to Earth and then disappears while holding off the Echidna horde here. The Echidnas were portrayed as like this tribal type of Native American thing. It was kind of interesting. You know, kind of reminded me a lot of the way they're portrayed in Sonic Adventure 1, actually. But not too bad. So, yeah, Sonic, I guess, just grows up on Earth. He ends up in a place called Green Hills, Montana. And, speeds around and does antics. But we get our first glimpse at our first human character, Tom. What was this guy's last name? Tom something. It was a very fancy name with W. Wachowski or something like that. But I don't know. Tom is a cop working in Green Hills. And he's very bored on the side of the road one day. Trying to catch something with his radar gun of doom here, but nothing's passing by. He's joking around with one of his friends on the radio. Finally, he sees like a turtle walking across the road, and he makes fun of the turtle for going one whole mile an hour. And he's like, you know, where's the fire, buddy, or whatever. But yeah, so he's bored, and then suddenly something zooms by him. It's Sonic, of course. But Sonic zooms by him and goes like 296, and then he tries to figure out what it is, and it goes by him again, and this time it reads 300. So just big numbers here for our good friend Tom. And then Sonic kind of does some background for us, where I guess he watches... He kind of has this gimmick where he's not really hanging out with any human, but he kind of considers himself part of certain groups. But they make the joke throughout the series, I'm sorry, throughout the show, that he is, he's not invited. Like, he's part of these groups, but he's not invited, so he's basically just he's just watching without permission or whatever. It was pretty funny. Kind of got a little sad later, but we'll get to that. He watches Tom and his girlfriend. I'm sorry, I actually believe it was his, I actually think it was his wife. Who was the wife? Maddie, I think was her name. But Sonic refers to this guy as Donut Lord because he's a cop in America in a movie, and so therefore he must eat donuts. Ah, fantastic. But yeah. So Sonic watches the house. He gets to see all the people interacting and having fun and everything like that. And to his dismay, he can't really hang out with humans. They take a very solemn approach to this. I don't know, I thought it worked in general. The audience that they're catering to, you know what, like, they've probably felt these things quite a bit. I don't know, I feel like it fits more than maybe it would have if they tried to pull off this plot in, like, the 90s or something like that. But yeah, so I don't think it's horrible. But anyway, so he's sad that he can't really hang out with people. He's supposed to hide and keep secret. He's got like a secret cave and everything. But he kind of, I guess he considers Tom, the Donut Lord, his like favorite person to watch or whatever. It was kind of interesting. Tom's gonna get a big promotion to the San Francisco Police Department or whatever. Talks it over with his wife for a while. The wife has this sister who's like continually trying to get her to leave the guy because I guess we had to get some stereotypical character archetypes in here. I don't know. She just comes off as that brooding, gossipy archetype. She was very unlikable, but that's what her character was supposed to do, so you know what? Mission accomplished. They did it. Can't complain about that, I suppose. But yeah. So one night, Sonic sees a bunch of kids playing baseball at a field, and he sees how when one kid gets to home base, the whole team picks him up, and they have a big, great time, and they're celebrating together and everything like that. You know, they all get to have a good time together, and so Sonic wants to simulate this because he doesn't have anybody to hang out with, so he wants to feel the same sort of joy as the kid who got to save the day by making like the winning play or whatever. So we get to see this gimmick where Sonic sets up a bunch of different roles for himself. He plays them all at the same time. Like he's the pitcher, the catcher, he's the lazy guy on second base, he's the runner, he's everything, you know? He's at bat, he's doing all the roles at the same time with his speed. And so he hits the home run, and he makes the final score, but then he goes to point out to the crowd that he did it, but this is something he can't really, he can't really role play an entire crowd, right? So he gets very sad, and he's like, man, I really am all alone. And just a very sad time for Sir Sonic here as he's coming to the realization that he doesn't really have anyone to hang out with. But while doing this, he gets kind of mad at the fact that he has nobody to hang out with. And I guess in this universe, in this, like, interpretation of Sonic, when he gets mad or upset over something, he generates a bunch of this, like, ridiculous electricity in his quills. And it sets off this big giant power surge. The power surge that I think they showed off in the trailer way back when. A whole year ago, I guess, but yeah. And it draws the attention of, like, everybody. The U.S. government's talking about it. News stations are talking about it. Tom and his friend Phil, I think Phil might have been his friend's name or whatever, they're talking about it. Everyone's trying to figure out why this giant power surge went off. And the U.S. government, being as smart as it always is, decides that the best course of action to explore this is to hire Dr. Ivo Robotnik. Played, yes, by Jim Carrey. I actually didn't think Jim Carrey did a horrible job in this movie. Robotnik is portrayed as this really socially awkward person who is like, he's easily the smartest person in the world, but he has no concept of, like, how to communicate with people normally or whatever. He talks in these very weird, cryptic lines and pokes fun at anything that he thinks is stupid. He basically sees all of humanity as stupid, but his machines are reliable. They can't tell him no. They get the job done and everything. So, very not friendly person here. I know, big shocker. The villain's not a friendly person, but there you go. So yeah, I guess his base in this one is a big giant truck. Not sure where that came from. But he's got a big giant truck. And it's got all of his technology in it. So he has this argument with some kind of sergeant. I didn't catch the rank of the major, maybe. I didn't catch the rank of the guy he was arguing with. But the point is that Robotnik's in charge, and he makes fun of the army men. Now, he had a sidekick here, but it's not Snively or anything like that. It was this guy named Agent Stone. Throughout the movie, I was trying to figure out what relationship Robotnik and Stone actually had, because sometimes they're palling around almost to the degree that it does look like Robotnik actually has, like, a human companion, some kind of friend, right? But other times, Robotnik just completely steps all over this guy and makes fun of him, and he tells him, like, so, like, Robotnik is not his big chunky self in this film, right? He's Jim Carrey's size. He's a pretty thin dude. And so he doesn't have the strength to, like, lift people up by the neck if he wants to threaten them or anything. So, like, a couple times in the movie, he tells this guy to pick himself up and throw himself against the wall or whatever, to basically, do the damage that he would do if he was tough. It was a very interesting interpretation of Robotnik, if nothing else. I was kind of intrigued by it. But, so there were a couple laughs that Jim Carrey got out of me here. Whatever you think about Jim Carrey, I'm just looking at this as a movie, not necessarily the character behind it. But yeah, so, I don't know, it was really weird, but it worked mostly for me. I didn't hate it completely. And so you have all these high-tech gadgetry that's designed basically to hunt down anomalies, and he's looking for evidence that Sonic exists and everything like that. There's a guy in the town who also thinks that Sonic exists. I think they were calling him Crazy Carl. So there's a few people who are on his trail, but Robotnik is the main one. And as Sonic senses that the army and everybody's looking for him, he decides that he finally has to leave Earth, and he has to go to a mushroom planet, which I just want to say is Mushroom Hill Zone, you know, like the first zone from Sonic and Knuckles. I'm also kind of getting out of frame here on the camera. I'll try to move over. Yo, what's up, Tara? We're reviewing Sonic. So yeah, Sonic decides he has to leave Earth and go to Mushroom Hill Zone. And he wants to use his, like, secret cave to leave Earth, but the robots and everything are, like, right on top of him. They're going to find him before he can escape, I guess is the logic they're trying to sell us on here. And so he decides that instead he's going to go hide in the Donut Lord's garage or something and do it from there. Yo, by the way, speaking of Sonic, it is worth noting that at some point in this movie, when Crazy Carl is talking about Sonic, he holds up a picture of his rendition of Sonic, and it is that freaking derpy Sonic character that used to get spread around and stuff. The, like, ridiculous gotta go fast meme. I was like, okay, fine, movie. You got one. You got a legitimate giggle out of me. Fair enough. You got me. Alright. Yeah, so speaking to Sonic. But yeah, so Sonic's going to leave Earth, but before he can, Tom thinks that there are raccoons in his garage, and so he comes in with his wife's tranquilizer gun and panics when he sees Sonic and shoots him right away. So Sonic has no time to react. I guess you could say he was too slow. Sonic has no time to react. He gets shot with the tranquilizer gun. And here's what was interesting about this to me. I do have to give them props for this, because immediately when they described, like, what the rings were going to do, I did think to myself, you know, how are they going to use the rings in such a way that it's not just an auto win for Sonic or something like that? And to their credit, here's how it goes down. So remember, to use the ring, you have to think of a location, and when like the ring drops or whatever, the portal to that location opens. So Sonic is getting shot with the tranquilizer gun, and as he's getting shot, he drops one of the rings, and he looks at Tom's t-shirt, which says San Francisco on it, because that's the, you know, that's where Tom is going to become a new cop, is in San Francisco. So Sonic utters San Francisco, and a portal to San Francisco opens, and his bag of rings falls through the portal on the ground and lands on some building. I know they said the name of the building, but I'm not good with names of the building, so just whatever. It was a big giant building in San Francisco. And then the portal closes, so that's how they get rid of the Deus Ex Machina. Sonic can't just zoom out of there whenever he feels like it, and he got tranked. So it was kind of interesting. Dark Force gonna grill me on this? Look, I don't care. They said the name of the building, I don't care what it was. It's all good, dude. I don't know my place. I've never been, I probably never will be. I don't know what's in San Fran. Alright. I don't know. I barely knew what the Space Needle was when I went to visit Kate. You kidding me? Not gonna know this stuff. But anyway. So, they do this bit where Sonic is... He's kind of captured by Tom, he's kind of not, and then he just leaves. He's free, I guess. But Robotnik finds the hideout. Well, he finds Tom's house, I guess, and he's following Sonic's footprints. And he wants to go see Tom's house, but Tom fools him with a fake name. Robotnik falls for it, which is really funny because he's supposed to be the smartest man in the world, but I don't know, whatever. But they get into an argument, and Robotnik tries to force his way into Tom's house while Sonic hides in the attic. Robotnik's minions His little badniks are also floating around, trying to scan for Sonic and everything like that. Sonic is pincered between two robots in the attic, and I thought he was going to cheese his way out of it somehow, but no, actually he in fact just like, he rolls out of their range and the robots catch him. So there's a bunch of noise being made, and Robotnik forces his way into the house, only for the fake out to be some like raccoon thing. There's another raccoon, more trash pandas hanging out, and Robotnik is about to leave when he sees one of Sonic's quills. And this quill, admittedly, I didn't bring it up before, but the quill played a slightly bigger role than just coming up here. Tom himself had picked it up after suspecting that Sonic existed in the first scene of the movie. Well, I guess the second scene of the movie. And so Robotnik sees it, and he's like, aha! You know, I knew there was something here all along. And he's just gonna outright shoot Tom with this big giant freaking machine, unless he gives him the location of the mysterious creature that he's looking for. And so Sonic interferes, and when he reveals himself, Robotnik is caught off guard, so Tom gives him the old punch to the face and levels him. And that's the end of Robotnik for now. Sonic plays with the machine for a while before they finally take it down, and then they leave, and we're basically doing a road chase cop buddy movie at this point, where Sonic and Tom are on the road, and Tom's pickup truck, and it wasn't really a pickup truck, was it? I think it was a typical car, but in any case, they're on the run. It might have been a pickup truck now. I don't know. It was one or the other, for sure. I know. Shocking guess, but anyway. Robotnik's trying to chase them down. The sister is trying to convince Maddie to dump Tom. Couple decent comedy moments. Sonic and Tom do this thing where they like talk about bucket lists where they want to do things. I should be buying soap at some point here. I'm trying not to get too distracted so I can just get through the review and then continue on, but I guess I gotta figure out what soap I should be using here. So I want to find what? Removing dirt from, oh, I see, from stone surfaces. Okay. Do I want, alright, I need the soap thing first. For the soap nozzle? Which one? Okay, hold on. Where's this menu that Dark Force said I need to go to? Let me get this later. Let me do this after the review while I'm not, like, distracted. We'll come back for the graffiti. Otherwise, I'm gonna, like, lose my spot here. Anyway, okay. So they do this thing where they've got, like, Sonic has a bucket list of stuff he wants to do before he leaves Earth. Tom is going to help him out with it. They're doing the buddy cop thing. Come on. No. No. Please go away. Oh, this mechanic sucks. Alright. Can I cheese it and get on that wall somehow? Yeah, okay, cool. Alright. They end up at a bar of some kind, and Sonic is too enthralled by all the bikers and things like that, so he gets this really goofy disguise. And to be fair, like, in the original Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, he did have a lot of disguises. He was one of those multi-disguise protagonist, so you know what, this fit right in with there. I felt a little bit of nostalgia from this, so sure. And then, you know, Tom goes in and tries to stop him, and he's like, you know, what are you doing? Someone's gonna notice you or whatever. He has to, like, convince the waitress that he's some 43-year-old guy with a skin condition, just some goofy stuff. And then they get into a barroom fight with some toughs. I thought he was going to come over and start the fight because Tom, like, I don't know, kind of, I don't want to say messed with a girl, but he had, like, a very minute interaction with a girl, and sometimes, you know, bikers are really, like, territorial about stuff like that, so I don't know. I thought that's what it was going to be, but it wasn't. So anyway, they started a fight, and, so I've seen exactly one, or I don't know, I've seen, like, a couple things from the Avengers, I guess, or whatever, like the MCU stuff, Marvel, rather. The scene where, like, I don't know, it's a famous scene. I don't know my comic book characters that well. I'm going to assume it's The Flash, where they do this big... What's the famous scene? What movie is the famous scene from, where the time slows down, they play the really goofy pop song, and he's running around doing a bunch of crap before time can resume itself or whatever. We got one of those, but Sonic did it. Days of Future Past with Quicksilver. Okay. Oh, I guess I've seen more than one then. I do remember seeing Days of Future Past with Kate. So actually, that's the one that I saw with Kate. I didn't see The Avengers. I saw Days of Future Past. I've got my own lore mixed up. So when did I see The Avengers then? Because I swear I've seen one Avengers movie before. I don't know. I guess I'll have to figure that out another time. So the Quicksilver scene... So I feel like immediately anybody would, like, I don't know, anybody would immediately just say, well, they're ripping off the Quicksilver scene or whatever. I can understand that perspective if people take that perspective. For me, Sonic the Hedgehog was always my quintessential fast character when I was a kid growing up. So you know what? It worked. I liked it. It was fine. They had some funny jokes. He rearranges a bunch of stuff. And then, you know, time resumes and everybody gets beat up, the good guys win, everybody has a good time. So they leave. Also, for some reason, everybody got up at the same time and, like, chased Tom and Sonic out of the bar afterwards. Like, they somehow knew it was the two of them that knocked everybody over. I have no idea how this was supposed to work, but it was a thing, so... I don't know. I was mostly entertained by it, I guess I could say. Alright, so, I mean, we go onwards here. They end up at a hotel. Tom finds out that he is now being labeled a terrorist because he punched a government guy in the face, that being Robotnik. And, I don't know. Onwards they go. Robotnik tracks them with some kind of technology. I missed a part, I feel like I missed a part in here somehow, where the biker who started the fight with Tom somehow knew that they were going to San Francisco. I don't remember them talking about going to San Francisco in front of this guy, but for some reason when Robotnik was interviewing him, he knew that Tom was going to San Francisco. I don't know. So that's a thing, I guess. But, so Robotnik tracks them. We get a small scene where we get some action where Sonic gets to fight this, essentially mini-boss thing. It's a tank that shoots a bunch of mines, and when the mines get under a car, it, like, short-circuits the car and stops it dead in its tracks. They show us this by having some screaming children in a car misbehaving, and when Sonic and Tom dodge the first volley of these things, it goes under the car and stops the family in their tracks, and they all freak out or whatever. So I guess they're just casually scarred for life now. I don't know. GG, whatever. Go next. So they go through like 4 phases of this fight. First it's a tank, then Sonic beats the tank, then it's like a smaller tank. Sonic makes a joke that the tank had a baby. Then they beat that one. Then it's like a single eye on one leg chasing after them. And it's got like spikes that it tries to jam into the tires. And Tom fights that one off with like, I think it might have been some kind of crowbar or metal pipe or something like that he had. I couldn't see what it was. He had something though. And then there's a 4th phase. This is like a really bad ZC boss. There's like 4 phases to this thing. And it's got, then it's just like a miniature helicopter that has a freaking laser that just shreds through the metal on the car and blows off the roof. So now they've, like, inadvertently got a convertible, I suppose. They got rid of the sunroof, we can say. And so I don't know, they fought that one off too, but yeah, it was interesting. It was some different action than usual, so I was like, sure, whatever. We got some Sonic action in the Sonic movie. Might as well. Not too bad. They do this thing where, I guess one thing I missed back at the hotel that's kind of significant is Sonic had a chili dog at some point. And Tom looks at the bucket list and sees that one of the last things on Sonic's bucket list is to make a real friend, you know, building off the thing that he was lonely and stuff in the past. So yeah, it's all good. So they make it close to San Francisco, or in San Francisco. I didn't quite catch what was happening here, but they make it to the sister's house, and immediately the sister wants to call the police, but Maddie stops her and wants to hear out what Tom has to say. And in the middle of all the arguments, this dog, Ozzy, reveals Sonic, who has been... oh, right. I actually missed an important part about the end of the fight. I remember how they get rid of the stupid helicopter thing now. They just... Sonic... They're trying to shake it off because it has a self-destruct feature. And Sonic is able to shake it off, but it, like, almost immediately blows up and it takes him out. Now, there was admittedly one thing about this that kind of bothered me. I'm actually kind of surprised it took me going to the next scene to remember it. So they're doing this thing where I don't think they want us to believe that Sonic is supposed to be dead, but Tom plays it off as though Sonic could be seriously injured or possibly dead. To which my immediate question was, if they really wanted us to believe that he was hurt, why did they open the movie showing us a flash forward of him fighting Robotnik in the city and doing the whole, you might wonder how I got here bit? Because we know up until that point, nothing bad can happen to Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, it's impossible. So, I don't know why movies do this. Trailers do this a lot with, like, prequels and things. I'll always remember that stupid commercial for the Little Mermaid prequel where they're like, whatever scene they're trying to show us makes it seem as though Ariel has a chance of dying, and it's like, she can't die. She can't freaking die because the Little Mermaid exists. They did it with Solo and Chewbacca. It's like, dude, I know when I watch this movie, Chewbacca's not gonna die, okay? Dude, can we stop this? It's like it's drama for the sake of drama. I'm not really sure what is going on here, but yeah. So, I was kind of bugged by that. I get bugged by crap like that. But I don't know. I guess I digress. If you just it doesn't matter if you disagree. It's all good. But so that bothered me. But anyway, Maddie's sister has a little child who runs around the house and I guess constantly does not listen to the mother or whatever. They seem like a very dysfunctional family because Sonic is just able to recover in the kitchen while Maddie and Tom tie up the sister. I guess it's because she fainted, that they didn't have to take her out or anything. She fainted when she saw Sonic. I guess that makes sense then. But yeah, they tie her up to a chair so that she can't call the cops. Maddie's trying to figure out what's going on, if Sonic's an alien. You know, is Tom really a terrorist? What's happening here? Because she wants to believe her husband. And they have a decent moment together. Sonic recovers. You get the cutest thing in the movie where the little girl sees that Sonic's feet are all beat up and she runs upstairs and gets the red sneakers. She has the red sneakers. And she brings them down to Sonic and says, you know, here, so your feet don't get hurt anymore or whatever. And Sonic is able to try on the shoes, and they fit, and it's pretty touching that you can see like Sonic get his red sneakers in the movie and stuff. So that was cute. But they still have to get to San Francisco. They get to man, I wish I could. Nah, I don't know. Does it even... There we go. It was the Transamerica Pyramid. That's what it was. Anyway, so Sonic, Maddie, and Tom get to San Francisco. They get to the Transamerica Pyramid. Tom had a weird line here where he's like, I can finally abuse my power or whatever. And he walks up to the receptionist with his ID that he's a police officer. Keep in mind, by the way, that this man is being reported for like major terrorism, and somehow, I guess whoever's working at the Transamerica Pyramid has no idea of this, because this woman takes a long look at his ID, and the only question she has from him is that, why is he from Montana? If there's like something important on the roof. Also, by the way, earlier in the movie, they showed Sonic able to just like run around things as quick as he wanted. He would scale things, he'd go around loop-de-loops or whatever. But when he tries to go to the Transamerica Pyramid, he immediately comes back to Maddie and Tom to complain that there's a lock for the roof and that you need a special key to get to it. So I guess for whatever reason he didn't want to or couldn't run up the building or something. I'm not really sure what was going on here. I can't say for sure if it's an inconsistency, but it at least raised my eyebrows as to why they were, I don't know, but it's fine. So, Tom has to fake his way. He has to pretend he's some, I don't know, I forget what he was doing. He's got to go get something from the roof. And the woman lets him up, so they get to the roof. Ta-da, I suppose. And, when they get up there, Sonic gets his ring bag, but Robotnik's badniks immediately surround them. And we see Robotnik come in with his fancy flying machine. I don't know if it has a specific name in this iteration. He referred to it one time as the prototype when he was talking to Agent Stone. But they had a thing where he was powering up his prototype with by researching one of the quills that he stole from his first confrontation with Sonic. And when he analyzes the quill, he finds out that it has unlimited energy in it. And so he's going to just use it to power up his flying machine. And so he confronts Maddie and Tom and basically tells them it's time to die. Tells Sonic it's time to get dissected. And in response, Sonic pushes Tom and Maddie off the roof of the building. And we get a second reference to the Quicksilver thing. Or was his name Quicksilver? I don't actually know, like, anything about this stuff. Where did you say it? Quicksilver, okay. I thought for some reason I might have gotten the name wrong, but no, Quicksilver. Okay. Alright. They do a second reference to it, but I have to give them credit. It was fine redoing this gag because there was a subversion in it. So everything slows down around Sonic, right? He's going to do this big, gigantic, heroic thing where he messes with all the badniks and makes them shoot each other. They all blow up and everything. And he's going to run down the side of the building and save Maddie and Tom before they smack on the ground. However, in the middle of him screwing around and hitting this, we get this amazing shot of Jim Carrey's face where Robotnik just looks completely possessed, and he's like, his finger is slowly inching toward this button as time is slowed down around him. But when he hits it, in the middle of Sonic's messing around, the quill activates in the machine. And so that powers up Robotnik's machine to the point to where he's now on the same, like, speed rank as Sonic the Hedgehog. So while the gimmick is still going on, Robotnik speeds up to the rate that Sonic is going. And so while he's messing around and trying to do a repeat of the bar scene, Robotnik catches up to him and like starts shooting at him with this big angry looking laser. And so he has to recover. He's barely able to throw a ring at the ground, and send Maddie and Tom all the way back to Montana. And then he crashes into the ground, he picks up his rings around the street, and then the chase sequence from the very beginning of the movie kicks on again. And then they do a slowdown, a freeze frame at almost the exact same spot, and then Sonic's like, so anyway, that's how I ended up being chased by a weird scientist in a robot or whatever. And he's like, if you're wondering how it's going to end, so do I. And then it just speeds up and they continue the chase. I don't know, it's like some of these jokes landed, but others were kind of weird, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I hated any joke too bad. Like, nothing made me roll my eyes. It was fine. So we get the pretty big action sequence where Sonic is continuously running away from this machine as Robotnik continues shooting at him with lasers. Sonic throws rings out and they go to different places like Africa and France. They pass by the pyramids, you know, they go by the freaking Eiffel Tower and stuff like that. They're running along the Great Wall of China. Something that was interesting to me, I don't know if this had to do with, like, I guess I would say, safety precautions for international relations. I noticed that Robotnik shot a lot during the San Francisco and the Egypt scenes, but when they got to the Great Wall of China, Robotnik did not dare to fire a single shot at that Great Wall of China. I ponder stuff like this every so often, where it's like, would it be considered an insult to, like, the Chinese people, the Chinese populace, or the Chinese government if they were to, like, fire and ruin the Great Wall of China in an American-made film? And I'm kind of like, you know, I don't know, I just like pondering these things at random. It might not mean anything, but I don't know, I just picked up on that he didn't actually fire anything at the Great Wall of China, I don't think. But in any case, they all end up back in Montana in the Green Hills, and they have a showdown on the or actually, by the time they get back to Green Hills, Sonic is, like, wiped out. He's been running a lot, and Robotnik's nailed some pretty decent shots. So Sonic drops the ring bag. He's unable to continue the fight at this point. Something that was weird to me here is, yo, it's the thing! It's the S! I didn't even notice that's what that was. That's so cool. Anybody ever draw this in grade school? It's the freaking S. Man, I haven't seen that in ages. Wow. They do this thing where, yo, what's up, JTP? One of Tom's friends shoots a gun at Robotnik, and nothing happens as a result. He, like, it just, like, it bounces, like, I don't know, kind of back here, let's say. But nothing ever comes of this. Like, Robotnik doesn't attack the guy. They don't really banter. I don't know. It was kind of weird to me that they even bothered to do it. But it was supposed to show that there was unity for Tom. And I guess somewhere in here there was supposed to be unity for Sonic the Hedgehog as well. So, like, we've got the thing where Tom picks up the ring bag. And while Robotnik is doing, like, one of his final monologues, he's gonna kill Sonic or whatever. He's gonna do the thing with the quills. Tom throws a ring and sets up a warp right to the back of Robotnik's ship. And he jumps through. And he gets the jump on Robotnik. And he even pulls off a one-liner. I can't even remember what the one-liner is because they had him get owned right after. Like, he makes the big baby-faced one-liner that you usually do when you're about to dethrone the bad guy or whatever, and then Robotnik just reverses the situation and sends him tumbling off the machine. It was really funny, actually. Like, like, you know what? Sure, fine. It's the one-liner got owned. I can respect that. Honestly, there were a couple pretty good subversions in this movie, I'm not gonna lie. That being my favorite. The one-liner getting owned. But then you get the kind of corny setup where Tom makes the big speech, and finally the trigger that wakes Sonic up is that Tom says that Sonic is his friend. And so that means that one of the last things off of Sonic's bucket list to make a real friend has finally been checked off, and so he awakens immediately from his beat-up state, and the electricity flows through him again, and He has one last showdown with Robotnik, who he's been calling Eggman this whole time. And Robotnik tries to get some good shots off, but Sonic's just deflecting everything, and he does a modified spin dash. And at the same time, Tom opens a portal to the Mushroom Hill Zone, and Sonic says, "I'm not leaving Earth. Eggman, you are." And he spin dashes into the machine. They had a really cool shot of all the glass and everything shattering up on the machine. Jim Carrey's face looking all distraught and surprised. And then the machine gets sent into Mushroom Hill Zone, and it's GG for Dr. Robotnik. So everybody celebrates. Tom and Maddie are staying in Green Hills in Green Hills because one of Tom's his own bucket list thing was to like become a, not necessarily a cop, but he wanted to like make a difference in someone's life and save someone's life. And since he was able to save Sonic the Hedgehog's life, he kind of got his fill of that. So he decides that he and Maddie are gonna hard chill in Green Hills and just stay there. They're like repainting the house and everything. It was also pretty good. At some point, they remember that when they got sent back to Montana, the sister is still wherever she is in California. She's still just tied up in her chair, and her kid is running around the room just humming songs and things like that. And the mother can't get the daughter's attention at all. Just a complete clown show, this woman. But yeah, some say she's still tied to that chair this very day. I don't know. There's no indication anybody ever went for her. So I don't know. But they take all of Sonic's stuff out of his cave, and they surprise him by giving him the attic in the house where he originally tried to hide from Dr. Robotnik. So he's one of them now. He makes amends with Ozzy the dog, who he was kind of jealous of and everything like that. And then they're gonna do like the credits and stuff. Like it was pretty much just like your typical happy ending stuff. They do some credits, and then you see like Dr. Robotnik is in Mushroom Hill Zone. He's got like the more extended Robotnik mustache now, like the crazier mustache, so he looks more like Robotnik at this point. And he says something like any normal person would be stuck here forever, but he'll be home by Christmas. And I gotta talk about this Agent Stone, because I feel like Agent Stone is a character who exists solely so they can make this joke at the end of the movie, where he asks for Agent Stone's opinion on something at the end of the movie, but it's a like physical, literal stone, because he was sent off Earth with only his machine and nobody else. And I can't think of any other reason for Agent Stone to have been in this movie. Other than for that joke, because the partnership between him and Robotnik was very questionable at best. And there was also no wrap-up with him. There was no closing footnote on what happened to Agent Stone or any of the other, like, Robotnik's henchmen or any of the badniks or anything. That's just like, everything is just wrapped up and done. So, I'm not sure what that was supposed to be about. But yeah, they did not finish anything up with Agent Stone except to make that joke. And then Tails shows up after the credits to, I guess he's tracking Sonic or something, because when he comes through with a ring, he makes some indication that he should be here or something like that, and he flies off into the Green Hills of Montana. And then that's like the true end. So I did look it up. I guess at some point I missed the fact that there was already a sequel announced for, I think it was April 2022. But yeah, so I almost kind of want to forgive some of the weird things that were left unmentioned, or some of the loose ends that weren't tied up at the end. Oh, by the way, for ignoring what happened, ignoring almost getting murdered, there was some Olive Garden product placement in this movie. And it happened a couple times, but at the very end, the government official who sent in Robotnik initially comes up to Tom and Maddie and says that the government would like to bestow upon them a gift in exchange for forgetting events that never happened. And so Tom and Maddie are wondering if it's going to be like enough money to fix up the house or, whatever. And they get a $50 gift card to Olive Garden. And the government official proceeds to ask them if they have tried the endless pasta bowl, because it is bottomless. And then they, I don't know. So I think Olive Garden might have shelled out some dollarinos here, but there you go. A lot of references to memes. Vin Diesel, the Vin Diesel family meme was in there. Uh-oh. Okay. The Vin Diesel family meme was in there long before it was a meme, because I think that's like a brand new meme. But man. So yeah, despite like some like logical faults and things being left undone or whatever, I have to actually admit it was not horrible. I have to admit it was not horrible. I might go like 7 out of 10 here, honestly. I've seen far worse things, especially far worse things come out of Netflix. Unfortunately, the Death Note rant has forever been lost in the archives of Twitch because I did not save it fast enough. But honestly, yeah, I feel like they could have done much worse. Was the redesign a hoax? Did they have a better design ready to go? You know, people were always asking about that back in the day. I don't know. I don't have an opinion on it. But I did get some decent Sonic fun here. They had a pretty cool ending sequence. The final fight with Robotnik was fun. The partnership between Tom and Sonic was fine. Nothing seemed too forced except a couple of the product placement jokes and the memes or whatever. But at the same time, that's kind of like what Sonic, you know, was. Sonic was a bunch of fourth wall wisecracking, you know, that's what Sonic did. I mean, so if I think about what Sonic is to me versus what they portrayed in the movie, they kind of got pretty close. There maybe could have been more action. I could have done with... I don't know, I could have done with fewer of the goofy corporate stuff or whatever. I would have liked if some of the plot lines were more firmly wrapped up. I kind of don't get the point of why some of the things were in there. But other than that, I don't, solid thumbs in the middle for me, honestly. Wasn't bad. Who else has seen the Sonic movie? Oh yeah, by the way, so some of the things I did not like, we're still doing fart jokes in like 2020. This is enough of this. Those actually were things that I rolled my eyes at. I was trying to remember some of the things I did roll my eyes at. There were like 2 or 3 different fart jokes in this movie. It's like, it's overdue. This stuff was old in the 90s, all right? We're done with the fart jokes by now. Please let this end. But yeah. So I guess there's going to be a sequel where Tails is part of the cast or whatever. So I don't know. Maybe I'll see that in the future. I probably won't go to the theater for it, though. But maybe, if Netflix or something picks it up later, I'll catch it again. Is that DFU? No, that's like a Z or something. Okay. So say I'm almost in the game, everybody. Look. All right, Mac Booty still up. Have no interest, but like that Power Ranger movie, you imagine it's fun for the fans. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of got the... there were a couple, like, legitimately fun things in it. They didn't have Sonic trying to, like, romance a human woman or anything like that. He didn't even, like, hit on anybody or anything. There were no inappropriate jokes like that I could remember. It's like, there's, I don't know. They tried to stick to it being a video game story. Tom had the romance link. Didn't need to do that, yeah. And what's kind of interesting is they didn't even try to force feed the romance through Sonic, if that makes any sense. Like Tom and Maddie are they're an established couple in the movie. They don't really have any relationship problems. Sonic doesn't fix any part of their marriage or whatever. They don't hate each other. They just genuinely care about each other. It's like, that's it. It's a family show, you know? Yo, it's the Kate. How is the Kate? You still enjoyed the movie as well? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. So, I don't know. Sonic the Hedgehog, 7 out of 10. If I'm honest, maybe I'll see the sequel later, but I don't know. That's my review. That review took almost the entire video, so I guess just in case the review doesn't seem popular on YouTube when this gets posted or whatever, I guess I'll just cut the episode here. Next time, we'll continue the random discussion while we clean up the skate park here. We can keep going with the Sonic discussion, but I'll split the footage for organizational purposes. So YouTube, we'll be right back. Thanks for watching, everyone. Boy! Gotta look at the camera, right?